Hi, it's Wayne O'Keefe. I'm fishing the Maribyrnong River this morning. The water's high. There's been a bit of rain overnight, so that was good. Very, very refreshing after some hot days. And also the tide is pretty much at its peak. So I'm fishing into that, it's now fairly deep water. I'll fish in fairly close because when you have a lot of water in the rivers, and that's from the inflow after rain and also when the tide is high, the water moves over areas that aren't always touched by water, so the fish will come in close to feed on those. So I'm hoping that I might get some of those bream coming in close to feed on the mussels and things like that in what would be normally shallow water. The bait that I'm using today, I'm going to use prawns, I'm going to use chicken, and I'm going to use scrub worms, because when you have rain, worms naturally just wash into the water. So I'm going to use some scrub worms just to see if they work. And the berley I've got is pretty rich today. I'm experimenting a bit. I've got a breadcrumb mix, but I've also put in that things like some of my berley pellets, bits of chicken, bits of prawn, bits of worm, bits of maggot, a little bit of corn. I mean, that's very, very rich. I'll just see if that works. I'm hoping that there's a few fish about, because otherwise I might feed them off with that rich selection of food in there, but I'm hoping that'll draw them in. Anyway, we'll see how we go. Well, first fish of the day. It's actually a small mulloway. I'll put this one straight back, but it just shows you that there's fish of all kinds in here, which means if there's small ones, there's got to be big ones. So that's a good sign for any of you mulloway fishermen who really want to get into the big stuff. But that's pretty specialised, and it takes special baits and special times. But they're great hunting if you really get into it. Well, I was trying to work out what was taking my bait. Clearly it's small bream. Wow. Well, there's a small mullet in here. Now I'm using bigger hooks and bigger bait, but the small fish are still coming. Sometimes, some days, small fish is all there is, but at least if you do it properly. Goodness. These things fight very hard for their size. I thought that was going to be a lot bigger. Well, I've caught a few fish today, and none of them very big, but at least I caught something. It's funny, there was a couple of anglers either side of me that caught no fish at all when they came here. I must admit they had pretty heavy gear, so they were either going to catch something very, very big or nothing at all. But I must admit, when I go fishing, I like to catch something. I had heavy gear as well, so that I had bigger hooks and bigger bait, so in case there was something big around, I might catch that. But I also typically take my lighter rod with me, so that gives me a chance to catch virtually anything that's in the water, and that's what was catching the small fish. So I was catching bream, I was catching mullet, I was catching those little tiny mulloway. It was a bit of fun for a couple of hours in the morning. I mean, if you had kids, it would be great to bring them along, because the fish here, if you do it right, are easy to catch. But if you don't do it right, then you're not going to catch anything at all. So it's really a matter of... and I'm still getting bites. And yet another small mullet. Wow. I think we've proved we can attract small bream. Yet another one. Wow, yet another mulloway. I mean, these things, there's a lot in there. Sometimes when you're fishing, you've done everything right, you just don't seem to get a bite. Now, you know, the conditions are right, the tide is right, you're using good bait, but you just don't get a bite. Now, sometimes it's not your fault. What it is nature has conspired against you. I was fishing here and I was getting bites, and plenty of them, and then everything stopped. 3 cormorants were actually fishing in the area. So 3 of those water birds were swimming around grabbing small fish. Now even larger fish will be spooked by those things. So they were around and all over my bait area. So I wasn't going to catch anything for a while there. And in the past I've fished in the bay and a seal has come through and basically everything has disappeared. Or I've been fishing in an estuary and a mulloway might have come through and just spooked all the fish. If that happens, you're going to lose all the bait in the area. I'd love to hear, comment below on the worst things that have come through that have actually taken your or scared the fish away. I've even had a seal actually take a mullet as I was actually reeling it in. So let me know, what's the worst thing that's ever happened to you in scaring the fish away? Bigger hooks, bigger bait, still small fish. Got him. Well, when you start to catch a small mullet like this continuously, then it's probably time the end of the day. But I've got a number of fish, and as I say, sometimes the small fish are all that are there. So at least it's a bit of fun.